Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new podcast. This is the Sheep and Nerds podcast. I think I'm probably gonna need. What the fuck is that picture in the chat? God damn it!
Wow.
I'm gonna have to put that up in the video.
Made by yours truly.
It's beautiful. I love it.
What's good?
So this is gonna be just a podcast about nerd shit. Yeah, I mean that's basically it. Today we're gonna. I suck at this shit. Today we're gonna be talking about Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. So if you have not played either of those games, might want to get on that shit. I understand Royal's spoilers because it is brand new. So if anyone says anything Royals related, just make sure you say or spoiler alert for Royals, just so people can jump around.
It's been out for like how many months, but it's brand new. Okay.
All right, but to be fair, it's a 136-hour fucking game. Okay, so let's not judge. It took me 4 months to just finish the fucking
Look, people
vanilla
should
version.
have nothing but free time with this whole. Wait, are we allowed to? Are we allowed to say the C word?
Yeah, bitch, yes.
I don't look. Hey, look. YouTube's been demonetizing people that be saying that word. I just want to make sure that we got that. People got endless free time with COVID. So,
my
come on.
channel is gonna get monetized. My channel.
Well, I was trying to give you some glow up, man. I was trying to show some respect here, bro.
Let's introduce everyone. I totally forgot that step.
That's a good idea.
Man, you're bad at this.
So yeah, spoilers, whatever the fuck. All right. So my co-host is Peter. Say hello, Peter.
Hey, what up, gamers?
And we got our Calvin. I don't know. our Calvin. Introduce yourself.
Come on. I'm Calvin. I'm a fan of JJ's. Also recently a coworker. I'm a huge Persona 5 fan. I kind of dabbled in the other Personas as well. And we're gonna cover other games, right? I mostly deal with tabletop games, but I do have some older stuff. Big fan of Halo. Big fan of.
Oh, we got to do a Halo podcast. Fuck
we're gonna do a Halo episode, I guarantee.
I want to play Halo right now. Fuck.
Either I play like the hyper competitive multiplayer games that have like esports scenes and all that shit, or I play like the really like story driven single player games, and there's no in between.
Yeah. I'm about the same way. And then we have
my table.
Oh, sorry. And then we have our special guest from the Nerd Ent YouTube channel. So make sure to check that out after this podcast. Gentleman Snark.
Sup? That's me. What's good?
Oh, wow, that was a great intro. Yeah, so you've read the video title.
Hold up. Let me do that again. See, I'm the Gentleman Snark, as always. There. Are you happy?
Extravagant. So we're talking about Persona 5. Obviously, I just wanted to talk about this because I finally finished the fucking game because it took me about 4 months to fucking finish because I didn't do my research ahead of time. Like, I was just like, wow, it's been 20 hours. How long is this game? The vanilla version takes up to like 80 to 90 hours, depending on like side quests and all that mumbo jumbo. And I was just like,
okay, but quick question. Fuck. Did you get the true ending though? Did you get the true ending?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're allowed in the discussion.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could talk about the combat because I feel like that's the best part of Persona games in general. For those of you who don't
wait,
know,
I have a question though. I gotta cut you up. I got a question because why do you like the combat? Because I could have distinctly remembered just a couple years ago someone just constantly telling me they don't like turn-based combat.
That's actually that's a good question because the past year I've been just the only thing I've been playing, with the exception of like Last of Us and shit like that, is JRPGs. Like all of a sudden I just totally got into JRPGs. The reason why I've stated that I hated turn-based combat to all my personal friends and everything is because when I was a kid I didn't like Pokemon because I didn't like the turn-based combat. I thought it was boring as shit. And then
So you don't like Friends, is what I'm hearing. You don't like having
exactly,
friends.
exactly. And then the second time I tried was fucking Final Fantasy 13, and I was just
Wow.
like, I was
You
just
fucked
like,
up out of the gate.
JRPGs are shit.
Right out of the gate.
I hate turn-based combat. It's absolute fucking trash. But then oddly enough, the game that made me into turn-based RPGs was actually South Park Stick of Truth. My love for South Park
That's
overcame my hatred for turn-based, and then I was like, oh wow, turn-based can actually be good if it's inventive and awesome. So then I started getting to the Final Fantasy series, and then the Tales of series, finished Chrono Trigger, all that fun and jazz. I'm actually working on a video why you should play JRPGs for like people who are kind of like me.
Do yourself a favor. Never play the Shin Megami Tensei series, because trust me, all that progress you made will go down the drain.
I know.
Just warning you now.
I was just gonna mention before you fucking rudely interrupted me. So for those of you who don't know, Persona 5 is based on the Shin Megami Tensei series, which are like known for being the hardest fucking JRPGs ever that's out there.
That coined the term SMT bullshit.
Yep. Which is why I also, in the video that's going to come out, I also say that Persona 5 probably shouldn't be your first, just because it is, especially toward the end where there's like little save points and you fuck up and die and have to like restart for like 45 minutes. It's just, fuck that. Like, just go get some other shit, like, you know, get your Chrono Triggers and shit, just so you can get used to, like, you know, just turn-based in general, and then come back to Persona. Like, don't let it be your first.
Well, I'll be honest. If we want to really talk, like, JRPG, I would say this is my first JRPG. You could say, like, my pseudo first JRPG might have been Final Fantasy VII Remake, or Final Fantasy 15, which has very little to no turn-based combat.
Yeah, those are more, I would say they're action JRPGs, which is basically like Kingdom Hearts type of shit, where it's like, oh, it's got battle commands on the side and shit like that.
And then, you know, there's the Pokemon franchise, which I love to death. I love all the Pokemon games. Unlike you fuck.
I just
I
don't.
Though
I don't like to collect them all.
Has been an issue.
Yeah.
Sword and Shield's not good, but like Black and White are my favorite games, and those are really fun, really good. Like,
I see.
mechanics.
So you're a man of culture as well.
I know.
All right, can you two stop sucking each other off, and we can actually talk about Persona?
But I mean,
Want to hear it?
I wouldn't.
Pokemon Go is the best one. I put it this way. It's not the only good one.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't say though. Like, I think Persona 5 is a good first point. Honestly,
I honestly don't think
say
so.
Your point is bullshit. Not to say your point's like terrible, but like, yes, you're definitely right. Like the last the last act in the game is definitely like, yeah, like it's definitely, if you don't put in the time to like train your team, you'll get fucked hard. Like I barely got through like some encounters in the end of my playthrough, and I had to, and thanks to Royale's fucking bullshit insta-kill thing, I was able to beat the game much more nicely than somebody who didn't know that. Like, I didn't know about the insta-kill mechanic until the last act, the third act of the game. So like I did the vanilla story without ever doing the insta-kill mechanic, and once I got to the end, I was like, man, dude, this game's gonna get really hard. If I beat a god just barely, how am I gonna beat this other guy? And so I was like, I'm gonna just fucking train my ass off, and I got to level 99 just to fight some character that roughly was around level 75. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you're kind of right. Like, it's really difficult, but I also think like the beginning parts of the game are very friendly compared to the footage and gameplay I've seen of like Personas 3 and 4, which they're really good games, but I don't think like those should be your first JRPGs. or even like Persona Q,
Especially
which I've been playing as well.
Persona 4, like, I'm playing Persona 4. I've been 3 hours into it, and I have not yet, like, fought in a real battle. Like, Persona 4 is just like, all right, here's 3 hours of stories, here's the setup, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, can I, like, fight something for, like, 5 seconds? They're like, nope, we gotta get the story out of the way.
I mean, granted, Persona 4 was their poster boy for a while before 5 came out, so...
Which I'm so glad it's on Steam now. Like, it's
oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Honestly, they should have put these things on the computers to begin with, because I remember there was a whole penchant to get Persona 5 on Steam as well, or just on the accessible to, like, computer players. Sadly, PC Master Race didn't get it, but... It's nice to see that Persona 4 did, so, I mean, here's hope that Persona 5 will follow suit eventually.
Anyways,
what were you saying, Calvin?
What were you saying, Calvin? Sorry.
Persona 4 I know is like that. I just want to make sure, JJ, that was the game where you were playing it and your family was watching you play it. And at some point they just asked, are you reading? Or are you actually playing a game?
Yeah, that was it. I was in my... I was in my living, because I have a gaming laptop, so sometimes I just travel around the house or whatever. And my mom was just passing through, and she was just like, "You winning yet?" I'm like, "Nah, still going through the story." And all she saw, I was just like pressing the space bar, and she's like, "Are you just pressing the space button?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's one of those story-driven games." She's like, "Oh, jeez," like she was like, "This is not." Like, what video games used
for
to
Persona 4, you can contribute that to, and granted, all the Persona games are kind of like that, though I really say that with Persona 4, why it seems
I'm not trying to shit
more
on
heavy on that. It's a detective story at the end of the day, in a sense.
I'm not trying to...
Anyone that's read them, they know how that format goes.
I'm not trying to shit on it too much, because I do like the story. It's very engaging. I was just like, that's one of the things. Persona 5, from what I remember, pretty much... I mean, it doesn't jump you right into the combat, but it's definitely sooner than fucking 4 did.
And I've been replaying it.
It does immediately throw you in the combat.
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty early.
It plays the what is it called? In medias res, whatever the fuck it is.
Oh yeah, that's
in
right.
the middle of
inside. You don't waste any time getting into the palace and having to deal with stuff. It does not take anywhere near as long as Persona 4.
Persona 4.
Like, I've been replaying Persona 5 Royale, which to JJ's
well, no, because you waited you finished it in 2 months, then like 2 months later you fucking replay it. You're a madman. That game's gonna take you forever a clock.
But I like replaying it again. Like, it's definitely like really well balanced between like story stuff and the gameplay.
I love Persona,
especially
man. I love Persona, but like, there's other games out there, man. Like, there's... the new Samurai Jack game is out. I mean, it's not
For context
great,
with me, JJ. I like to rewatch and replay things that I enjoy.
No, me too.
And I hate learning new shit. So like for a while, during college, my roommate would be watching different anime. He's like, dude, watch this. I'm like, I'm gonna rewatch JoJo's Part 4 again.
God damn
He's like, what?
God damn it.
He's like, why?
Why can I never get away
really
from
good.
JoJo? I've never seen JoJo, and I don't think I want to.
So you're gonna go watch JoJo.
I'm not.
You're gonna watch it. No, you are.
No, I don't care about it. I don't care.
Wait, hold on. How are we talking about? First off, you say you can't get away from JoJo, but we're talking about Persona, and you're wondering how JoJo got involved. Are you stupid?
Are you stupid?
All right. Anyways, this is a different conversation. So let's get into the combat. Jesus Christ. Did you guys? What were your like? Let's put it this way. What were your best personas that you used a lot of the time? Because, you know, mine changed throughout. You know what I mean? Like, I never stuck to like one main. I just was constantly changing. I
don't remember the name of the persona, but it was the one that kind of floated around and had knives for fingers. Yeah. The one that was like resistant to, well, not resistant. It was completely immune to physical damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but we all know Mara is the best.
Which one?
Which one's that one?
Mara. The one that looks like a dick.
The one that looks like a dick.
Oh yeah, the one in the wheelchair.
I never got that.
Man, those.
Wait, is that one in Persona 5?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, remember
I never got it.
you go into the mementos, right? It's like the last, or not the last guy, but the one before. Yeah. It's like in a wheelchair. It's like that's another thing about this.
I remember that now. Yeah.
That's another thing about this game. Like the metaphors are really subtle, guys. Like
Mm-hmm.
I forget that guy's whole backstory or whatever, but it was something about like sexual assault or whatever. And what is his persona? A fucking dick in a wheelchair. Oh, like Jesus Christ.
Uh-oh, stinky.
But the gameplay is really good from a, like, if you hate turn-based combat, this is a pretty good game to get yourself into, because like there's just a lot of variety. You have the gun mechanic, which I didn't really use later on. Like it was mostly in the earlier stages of the palaces and stuff like that. And then obviously you have your magic, and then I think what's awesome about this is the attack. Like you actually have to sync up with the let's just use a PlayStation controller as an example, like the X button, and then like if you sync up completely, then like it gives you a special move at the end which does like critical damage most of the time. So like that's a way to keep the player engaged, which I thought was really cool, because most turn-based is just like attack, and then like you don't really feel the impact, whereas like with Persona's combat, you feel every impact, every attack that you do. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah, the sword slashes and everything, it makes a really satisfying sound.
There was one complaint I had with the gun mechanic, which you touched on, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
You use it a lot in the early stages, and then it seems like it disappears for a good while.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, almost out of nowhere, I think this was a big thing in Shido's Palace. There were a lot of enemies who were weak to guns in Shido's Palace who you wouldn't have guessed were weak to guns.
Right.
And they just, and you don't even think to use a gun. The only reason I got it, I think, was because I was using a Haru, and she has the one magic ability that is gun-based.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that, you're like, how the fuck did I not think to do that? That's my one complaint with the gun mechanics, is it didn't feel impactful enough compared to the rest of the pieces of combat.
Yeah.
Royal fixed that, right? I think Royal...
I don't think it was stressed that much in tutorial, though, was it?
No, not necessarily. They just pretty much said guns are used to like stun enemies and stuff like that. But then, like,
I mean, to be fair, it was also the first time in a Persona game they added a projectile, because technically Persona 3 had those invokers, but you don't use them to fight, you use them to summon personas. So
right.
I'm guessing this is, if I had to guess, it's probably their first take on incorporating that in a Persona game. We may see that later, or we might not, depending how the reception of that is.
Whenever fucking Persona 6 comes out.
That's gonna be a
10 years
long
from now.
That's gonna be a long time.
That's gonna be
Persona
a while.
5 was supposed to come out on the PS3, and then they were just like, it's like.
I'm probably gonna have a kid by the time Persona 5
honestly.
Like,
I'm gonna be an old man.
Senile. But yeah, I mean, Peter, what do you think about the combat? Like, what are your favorite aspects?
So to kind of like go off of the first part of everything that you said, like I had like a set group of personas I used.
Mm-hmm.
I used Thor. I
Thor
used
is awesome
Nekomata.
Physical attacks. Thor is like,
I gave him God Hand. And I was like, I'm just murdering
God Hand is
fools
beautiful
right now. And then I used Nekomata as like my what is it? In my AoE effects.
Mm-hmm.
So like I just used I put a bunch of magic on her to hit all the enemies, just so I could be like, okay, these are new enemies I've never seen before. Let me just shoot them all with the same attack and see which one of them is like weak to fire, which one of them is weak to ice. And like I did that a bunch.
That was my strategy exactly. Like whenever there was a new enemy, I tried every single element, just be like, all right, what are you weak against, so I could just get this bullshit out of the way. And a lot of them were weak to nuclear fusion or whatever, which is a new element in the Persona franchise.
Yeah, Nuke was really good.
Which Makoto.
Makoto.
Which...
Wait, hold on. You didn't know her name?
I'm really
Fake fan.
I'm really bad. I'm really bad with these names. I gotta tell you. Like every time I rant,
I mean, you just call her a queen.
Yeah, true. Every time I rant about this with Peter, I just go, the doctor lady, I want to bang her.
And I'd be like, oh, you mean Takamaki? No, what the fuck is her name now? Damn it, JJ, you ruined me. Thank you.
No problem.
Takamaki is Anne's last name.
Yeah, Takamaki. Yeah, that's on.
It
but
sounds too close.
yeah, I liked it a lot. I like depending on how you want to set up your different characters. Like typically on my team, I would have Makoto, obviously Joker, Yusuke, and An, or Haru.
See,
An and Haru would switch out a lot.
I would switch out Anne and Ryuji a lot of the times, back and forth. And then I kept what's his face, the artist guy with the sword.
Yeah, Yusuke's really good. I like Yusuke. Makoto, I used her as like to buff up my character.
I played an 80-hour game and I can't even remember the fucking names of everyone.
That's really disappointing, actually.
I'm kind of surprised. Like after a while, they keep repeating fucking names, so I'm surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That it's so fucking stupid.
Like the amount of time the Navigator Oracle is just so like, oh, so and so is down. Like that doesn't sink in.
Nah.
And then all the hours you spend hanging out with them for your social ranks, which is like probably my favorite part of the game. But in combat, like I just had like a set strat.
Part of everything.
Well, yeah,
I had the set strat with the combat.
When I did characters I use, I think my first line, as if this is sports, my first line was Haru, Makoto, and Yusuke, and then my second line would be on Morgana and Ryuji, and I can't remember why I did it like that. I think it had to do with Makoto and Haru being able to abuse double damage based on physical or mental ailments.
Okay.
And then Yusuke, I think, was just my hardest hitting physical unit. And then when I'd swap it out, I'd have Wind and Fire for Anne and Morgana.
Wind is low key like pretty fucking powerful. Like a lot of people
good.
where a lot of enemies are usually weak to wind and stuff. I like the Psych. What is it? Psych that Haru has?
Psychic, yep.
Yeah,
it's Psych.
That power up's pretty cool too. Or element rather. But yeah, no, the combat is extremely addictive. I like. It's not really even. I
think it's mainly because of the aesthetic, to be honest. Because like
Well, that's what Persona.
Like when you look.
Persona
5. If you look at the discussion, like when the trailer first dropped, like everyone was just like, oh yeah, we drew inspirations from Lupin the Third, which is probably the most iconic anime character, one of them ever. So yeah, it's the aesthetic here. They went with Phantom Thieves here, which is a big thing in Japan. So yeah, the aesthetic is they were really doing all they can to make the aesthetic look as perfect as possible.
I mean, I've
really
seen
make it satisfying.
I've seen pictures of people cosplaying as the Persona 5 menu, which is that's just fucking
the
beautiful.
Menus are so fucking
yeah. The aesthetic in this game is really awesome because I think the same guy who made what's it, Caroline? Coraline?
Yep.
Catherine. That's another good game. Fucking love that game.
I watched.
Yes.
What did I watch? I watched this not a Mega 64. This other guy. He does like hour-long videos on like describing the background of different games, and I watched his hour-long video on Persona. And watching it, I learned that Catherine was the beta of it's called Beta 64, the YouTuber, and he explained that Catherine was the beta for Persona 5.
Yeah,
they tested the engine and see if the physics were good, and cool that Catherine became a cool game.
It was essentially how they tested the 3D anime style, because they had Persona 4, but that was literally on the PS2. That engine, you tried your best and people were okay with it. With the next generation. You had games like Borderlands, who were the only real thing left with. Because mind you, this is before Fortnite and Overwatch and all that shit made the Pixar style of an art direction popular. So you either had Borderlands, which was, you know, cel-shaded, everything was really unique.
Like super cel-shaded,
Yeah. Or you had the nitty-gritty, you know, Call of Duty, Battlefield, ultra hyper-realistic. And obviously, you know, Persona wouldn't fit an ultra-realistic.
No. It would have been a completely different game if that was the
Metal
case.
Metal Gear can
It'd
do
be
it.
awkward
That's
to
a
look at.
Great, Japanese story-driven game, Metal Gear, perfect. But that's its art style. It makes sense. For Persona, that wouldn't make sense. So, what they did with Catherine was they wanted to develop a new game. They were still working on Persona 5. They wanted something small just to get out the door, and they wanted to test the new art style to see if it'd be appealing to people. And Catherine was a huge success. And I think Catherine doing so well essentially told Atlas that we can still pull off Persona 5. It kind of gave them a big boost to working on the game.
And this is definitely, I would say, I mean, Persona 4 really started the popularity with Persona. I feel like Persona 3 had a good audience, but not nearly as much as Persona 4. Really and then, like, Persona 5 just took the fuck off.
There's various reasons as to why. Because Persona 3 is just, I won't spoil it too much anyways, but it's kind of a downer. It's kind of because there was a trend. Before Persona 4, there was a trend. This is a spoiler for Persona games from 1, 2, 3. All the MCs pretty much died in the end. That's the whole trend. Persona 4 was the first one where the main character did not die. They survived through all that ordeal. So that's kind of why people, because even Igor says it towards the end of the game. He's like, you've been the most magnificent guest in the Velvet Room. So that's pretty much why Persona 4 really kicked it off, and Persona 5 really had to drum up that hype.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's I want to cover on this before we go away. I think that's why, okay, this happens in the main game, so this spoiler territory is fine for Persona 5.
Yeah.
I think that's why Akechi's shooting you. That's why so many people believe Joker died in that scene. Was because in almost, except for, of course, Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden, the main character dies. So the idea of Joker dying in that scene was just, it made too much sense. And it wasn't until you have the cut scene where all the people are watching the news thing saying that he killed himself.
Yep.
And Miyuki's like, we got him, boys. Like, that's the only reason why people think, like, oh, there was something
Ladies
more,
and gentlemen,
you know?
we got him.
We got him.
I
think that's actually the line, is we got him.
Yeah. And then Ryuji smiles at the end. I'm like, oh, my boy's alive.
Honestly, I genuinely, like, that whole thing, I thought, because I'm one of those people, especially with this game, that's a really long game, I was like, I'm gonna, like, get a guide so that way I get what I want. Even though, you know, some people might think it's bullshit, but I like having guidance so that I get what I want. But even though I did everything right to that point, I was like, when I saw that cutscene with everybody like, Joker dies, I'm like, what? What just happened?
Did I just fucking waste 80 hours of my goddamn life?
And then, and literally, as soon as I see Ryuji say, we got him, I was like, I threw my controller in the air. I was like, yes! Yes, we did it! Fuck you, Akechi, you piece of shit!
I mean, hands down, that was like probably the best, one of the best moments in the game, because they literally, because even like before you get to that point, every time you get like a game over or you lose, it always ends with Joker getting shot in the head by a silhouette, which really kind of drives the player to be like, all right, what's happening here? Who is this? What's going on? Like, it makes you want to play even more to get to that moment where it's like a big payoff.
Yeah, right.
And I looked it up online, like the bad endings, and I saw that like the bad ending for that scene still ends with an animated cutscene, with an anime cutscene. So like that, I was like, wow, that's so smart. Like fucking with us, like so well. I like that scene so much. It was such a good, even though like a lot of people think the story in this game is like very straightforward, especially with the fact that like they practically tell you who every villain is.
Yeah. Well, that's.
But
I mean, the thing people need to understand is that this is not a detective story. That was in Persona 4, if that's what you wanted. This was something else. This went with the Phantom Thief route, and there isn't that much type of mystery and intrigue. So
yeah, this is more like an action, like more of like a, like what you said, like a Lupin the Third, like kind of like an Indiana Jones feel, where it's just like
basically think of this like an ocean movie, like Ocean's 11. That's pretty much what we're going with here.
Pretty much.
That is, like heist movies and shit.
I'm usually not a fan of stories starting near the end and then working their way up. You know what I mean? With like bullshit stories like, are you wondering how I got here? And blah blah blah. But I think Persona 5 does it well because one, it's a video game, it's not a movie, and like it kind of gives you not too much detail, but detail of like the people you're gonna go up against essentially and stuff like that, and then it leading toward not even really the ending, but like toward near the end of the game, you know, where like it's finally explained like why Shay has like such a deep connection to this case and stuff like that. So I think that structure kind of works.
I think
he means
Sai.
Sorry.
I think that structure really works, especially for Persona 5, because it's a game. Because I'm kind of with you there, where I don't really like it when they do it in certain movies, depending on how it's done. Mm-hmm. But because it was a game, like, again, going back to what I said about that whole Akechi traitor reveal thing, is that every time you lose, you get silhouettes. You got to see the aftermath of what happens if you fail.
Yep.
So it makes you wonder, okay, what's going to happen then? And what happens if I succeed? Will something different happen? Like, that's the driving force, because it's a game. You have, like, player interaction. There's your input to it. So I think that's why it works out better.
Yeah, and Akechi was a great rival to, well, Joker. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes they... You know, when there's rivals in games, they play it very like Ash and fucking what's his face from Pokemon.
Gary.
Yeah, like it's just like it's so like, hi, I'm the reverse version of you. Or to take it to an even further extreme, like Sonic and Shadow, it's like, hi, I'm you, but I'm dark and fucking cool. But like, nah, Akechi felt like.
But there are other places where they do it better. Like
Akechi is Light Yagami in a Persona game. Essentially.
No, seriously, like you're that is like a heavy meme. But, like, the best comparison between Joker and Akechi is Light and L.
Yeah.
Like, straight up, they pretty much act the same. They're playing this massive... I feel like I'm overhyping the story because the story... replaying it again, it's like, it's not as crazy as, you know, the first time I played it through. Mm-hmm. But, like, it's still a really good story. But looking back at, like, Akechi, and I also watched this person called Crystal on YouTube who... loves Akechi, and like she's got me hooked on Akechi too. And like the chess game that like the little small things you pick up with Akechi, the thing is,
I feel like
is so good.
I will say this though, the rivalry was good in Persona 5, the first one, but I gotta be real, the way they kind of jumped it up in some parts, it kind of comes out of nowhere, and I feel like that's what Royal fixed by allowing you to get closer to Akechi. You kind of see where the rivalry actually comes from. So I really feel like they did it better in Royal.
100%. Like making you like go out of your way to hang out with Akechi rather than just Akechi being there. Yeah, that I really appreciate.
Since I've only played the vanilla version, yeah, it just kind of feels like, you know, you max out your social link with like Akechi, but like really it's just like, oh, well, like the only reason why that is because he's forced into the story or whatever. So, but yeah, I mean, I really liked Akechi. How'd you guys feel about, again, I mean, it's in the video description, title, spoilers abound. So if you're still here, why the fuck are you here? What you guys feel about the
Holy? If you haven't played
the Holy Grail reveal? Were you guys like, oh shit, that's kind of cool, or were you like,
okay, it's a common. First off, it's a common Shin Megami Tensei thing, let alone Persona, that at the end of it, you either fight God or some sort of supreme deity or demon. It's a common trope. So
yeah.
I'm not surprised they put that in. I was mainly intrigued on how they were trying to work that in the website and the found outcry and all that kind of stuff. I found that interesting. I don't know if I thought that was believable in the slightest, but it was entertaining.
Because a lot of the game, you're going through palaces and you're going through like people's inner demons and their inner desires and stuff like that. And then the Holy Grail just seems kind of depersonalized from the whole thing. Like, it get tradition, right? I mean, Final Fantasy, I mean, you got chocobos all over the fucking place that just appear just because they appear. But like the Holy Grail shit, I kind of was just like, especially toward the end where they're all cheering for you, like, everyone's cheering for the Phantom Thieves, and you're your social status gets like to 100%. Like I was just like, you know what I mean? Because like throughout the whole game, you're dealing with like personal shit and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, now you got to face God, and it's like, okay, sure.
Well, so I feel like with the personal thing though is that as you play through it, the social impact each enemy has grows. So first it's a couple of students, and then it's a whole more students who are in financial debt. And then you go up, and then it's an entire city block. It goes up, and then it's an entire corporation. Then you have a legal prosecutor. Then you have a politician, and then you have God. And the idea is, as you go up, these targets you have are, they have more and more of an influence on the world around them. And I feel like that was why at the end, you fight God. Most JRPGs is a bunch of teenagers killing God.
Yeah. That's literally every Final Fantasy game. It's like, let's go kill God. And it's like, okay.
Final Fantasy VII, bro. Final Fantasy VII remake.
What's the name of the zero punctuation guy?
I know what you're talking about.
Yahtzee Croshaw, I love him.
Yeah. He came up with that term. What's a JRPG unless they're a bunch of teenagers killing God? Like, so in this one, where you fight a god it's like a god of order or something. Like this one is a whole like law versus chaos kind of thing. Kind of like,
I don't know. I just felt like there was, I mean, sure, in a metaphorical sense, there was more build up to this, but like I feel like Akechi had a lot more build up than
here
the Holy Grail. You know what I mean?
So JJ, kind of like going off of all the Persona games and the Shin Megami Tensei games kind of like play with the idea of like God and shit. So like from what I understand from Persona 3, there is a really deep connection between the main character and the God character in that game.
I would imagine, because the whole thing's about teenage fucking suicide.
And then Persona 4, it's just Persona 4 for me is more out of left field, at least, because it's like you go after this serial killer, and the serial killer is like, I don't know why I did this, and then you're like, wait, who really did this? The gas station attendant. And then you're like, what the? Okay, that was really hard to believe. But regardless,
it's not. For Persona 4, it's not. I understand it is out of left field, but when you look at it in the sense of, we take like Greek mythology into account, and yes, I know it's a Japanese game, but bear with me here. In Greek mythology and shit, you always be seeing gods just be doing things just because. That's pretty much what Persona 4, the main, I forgot her name, but the main villain, the real villain of Persona 4 is that she's just doing it just because. Like, she just wanted to do this whole experiment to see what would happen and nothing else.
And that is exactly what happens in Persona 5, where Igor and the villain god of that game play a game. And the villain god of that game is like, haha, I'm gonna fuck with you and take over your body. I'm gonna destroy your servants.
I like the Igor reveal, because
we were talking about this, JJ.
Because the thing is, even the voice actors were in on it, because they were like, oh, we got a different voice actor for Igor, and you immediately think that, oh, the old voice actor, he probably left, or he probably didn't want to do it anymore. No, that was just a fake Igor the entire time.
It gets better with that. And this is actually really like morbid and depressing. The original voice actor for Igor in Japan, he did all of his lines for Persona 5, but died before the game was released.
No.
Oh my!
So when people heard this new Igor style, people assumed that because the old Igor passed away, this new Igor is going to be the new voice of Igor is going to be the new stylistic choice going forward. Turned out the old Igor who passed away already finished all of their lines. I think anything that like needed to be added in later was done by the Lavenza instead. So it was even crazier in Japan, because people just assumed it was the stylistic choice, and they never would have known. Until
like,
the big reveal.
When me and JJ were talking about the Igor reveal, I think like a week ago, right around when you finished it, and we were talking about it, and I was like, for somebody Persona 5 is my first Persona 5 game. in my first Persona game, and I was like,
Persona 5 is your first Persona 5 game? Holy shit, dude.
I'd hope so.
I mean, literally, honestly, that be based on all the Persona 5 games there are right now. There's Royal, the dance game,
you're kind of
Q2,
not wrong.
like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not entirely wrong, but regardless, not knowing what Igor sounded like, I genuinely was surprised that Igor was a different person. Because I was like, the voice really matches this guy, like really creepy, really like wardeny. And then when you get the original voice actor, you're like, what the fuck is this? This is the original voice?
Yeah, because Persona 4, like when it came out on PC, like I just booted it up and played like the first 3 hours, and then I was just like, why is Igor's voice different? Maybe they couldn't get the voice actor guy in time. But then like once the reveal happened, I'm like, oh my god, that's so fucking clever.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like it's simple things, and like even just like going back to the whole god thing, it's like everything in the story felt a lot more integrated. Everything felt like purposeful. Yeah. Once again, I truly feel like I'm overhyping this game, but like it's really. I've been thinking about it a lot. Like it's really good.
Is overhyped a tad bit. I still think it's a really good JRPG. It's the best JRPG, definitely on the PlayStation 4. Like hands down, nothing has even come close to touching it. You know, I still have my personal favorites. I'm a Final Fantasy boy. I love me some Final Fantasy. Except when you take an entire remake and only do the 6 hours of the original game and extend it to 34 fucking hours. With Kingdom Hearts bullshit dialogue. I had to get off of the game at points because I was just like, I can't, like, Kingdom Hearts dialogue is okay when you're a kid, and I can still listen to it today because I grew up with the shit. It's nostalgic, right? But like hearing it as an adult out loud in Final Fantasy VII, I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I got secondhand embarrassment when my mom came downstairs and like there was this whole cutscene and like Cloud is just constantly going, and Tifa's going, and it's just like, I'm not watching porn, Mom. I swear to God, it's not porn. And then she looks at Tifa's outfit. She's like, can you just turn it down a bit? And I got so red. I just like went right back upstairs and just started playing fucking Chrono Trigger on my laptop. I'm like, I can't fucking do this shit anymore.
Yeah, it's just like everything. At least in going back to Persona 5, like just seeing. Because, like, the God thing makes sense to me, like, after really thinking about it, because Igor's, like, person is you, the main character, the protagonist, and the God's character is Akechi. So, like, Akechi's line where he's like, God bestowed this power upon me to rid this world of injustice. Literally, a God gave him the powers to do what he wanted. Mm-hmm. Similar to Joker, where a random dude, Igor, is like, I'm gonna give you powers now too. And it's
I mean, you could take that and go all the way back, and I guess another spoiler for Persona 2, but this all just kind of goes back, because I'm not really familiar with Persona 1, so don't call me on that, but Persona 2, like, how the whole God thing is, because because if you guys notice that in all the Persona games, at least from 3 to onward, there's always this butterfly, and there's always this common thing that's Philmon.
Yeah, that's another 2. God, right? That's another exactly. God, right?
And his whole thing was just like, oh yeah, like after a couple of like 1,000 years, we'll probably like come back and see how humanity has evolved over and over again. So yeah, that's why like when gods randomly show up in Persona, it's not surprising to me, because at the end of the day, it's just, to me, the way I take it as is Philmon trying to prove once again that humanity can still overcome strife, and the gods, and then the other gods like of chaos or like order and shit, are just like, no, they can. We're gonna prove it. And then the protagonist comes and kick their asses, and they're like, yeah, you lost.
So just real quick, I know that Persona 5 kind of like touches on it a little bit. This is a very offshoot question, but I'm still kind of a newbie with the whole Persona universe. Like, are the Persona games like in the same universe? Because I know that you could see posters of Rize
yes,
in Persona 5.
Of what?
All
right. here's the thing.
Wait,
Persona
hold on,
3.
What's the question? Like, are all the Persona games connected, or...
Just the Persona games, not the
not the
Shin Megami Tensei games.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Not those
Okay,
ones.
so
Yeah, no.
Persona. Here's the thing. I do not know about 1 and 2, but I do know that Persona 3 to 5 are because Persona 3 and 4. Yeah, because Persona 3 and 4 they had those tie-in games of the Persona Arena, Persona 4 Arena.
Yeah, we need a fucking Persona.
We
need a Persona 5 fighting game, please, fucking God.
Scramble's probably the best we're gonna get.
What?
You do not.
Persona 5 Scramble is coming out for the Switch. That's just it's pretty much what's the thing? What's that? What's that beat 'em up game? I forgot what it's called. It was for the PS2.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Phantom Strikers, but it's a trend of fighting games. But basically, it's just a 3D beat 'em up. That's really all it is.
Mm.
I think it's like God Hand. It's like God Hand, that game. If anyone remembers that.
Gotcha.
It's Dynasty Warrior.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. Dynasty Warriors.
I don't know.
I mean, it is a sequel though. It does continue off of the main game, not Royal, but the main game.
Oh yeah, no. You get Phantom Strikers purely for the story, honestly.
Yeah.
At least that's what I'm
Because like a lot of
doing.
the Dynasty Warrior games, like I'm a big Gundam boy, as Leon obviously fucking knows. And they did Dynasty Warriors Gundam, and I was like, oh, I just have to mash the square button to win. Wow, this gameplay is really fucking intriguing. And they did the same thing with Zelda. I forget what game it was.
Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah. It's just like
they weren't even subtle with the name either.
Yeah.
They weren't even subtle.
But I just want to, it's been 46 minutes, and obviously we haven't gotten to the main crux of P5.
Oh,
because let's face it, P4, okay, waifus, nothing great. P3
Let's
waifus.
Wait.
Hold on. Let me finish. P3 better than P4 because you get fucking robot, which is like automatic A+.
Yo, facts.
And then obviously P5 is just come on. It's like there's no competition. So
hold on.
We could do this one of two ways. We could just argue amongst ourselves, or we could go through each waifu and rate them.
I say first we do like just straight out like which ones we like.
Okay.
We go one at a time. No one else talks. No one says like goddamn word. We all sit there and we talk about the characters we like, and that's it. And then we could go through a list and be like, oh, and then I'll talk about each character and which ones we like and dislike. Not only on like waifu status, but like liking status too, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. Well, I'm going first. Fuck you. So I like me. So I'm gonna rank them in no particular order. But for me, it's fuck. I don't know the names. God damn it.
just look them up.
The doctor, Takumi, is definitely Bay material. And then the teacher, Kawakami.
Kawakami.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the last one I'll say is
Do you really like? No, wait. Sorry.
the Makoto, the Queen. Makoto. Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm real bad at names. I know. I suck. And then finally Ryuji, obviously.
Yes. Real quick, can we all just agree that men in these games are hot as fuck? Like, what the fuck,
I mean,
man?
I'm not gay, but I would dedicate my life to Ryuji.
why is Kanji like so adorable in Persona 4, bro? Why do I want to bang
Look at
Akechi
Calvin's
so
face
bad?
right now.
Wow.
In Persona 6, you know what they should do? They should make it a female protagonist, so all you have to do is take
That was an option Persona 3.
No, yeah, but in Persona 3, yeah, like what the fuck?
In
Yeah,
the
you
Persona
can.
3 remake, you play as a female protagonist. It was so crazy
didn't know
because
that.
actually in Persona 3, one of your party members die. But if you romance them as a female character, they live.
Ooh. Oh,
Wait,
yeah, no, I
really?
did hear about that.
Yeah.
Holy shit,
That's
that's
real.
so
Yeah.
cool. That is
That's
actually
that's
really
why
freaking
when-
cool.
Between like before Royal was even like back when people thought the remake for Persona 5 was gonna be Persona 5 Crimson. When Kazumi came out, people thought that, or like the pictures of Kazumi came out, people thought that was gonna be female Joker.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
mean,
Yeah.
The design looked very similar, so I can understand why.
Yeah.
And like everybody online, and the way they marketed her was like, oh, she's gonna be the playable character. I was like, I want to play as Kazumi. I want to play as the redhead so bad.
And they were like, psych.
It's like,
It's a Marie.
They pulled the Dave Chappelle. Psych.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch. All right. So who wants to go next?
So actually, we just mentioned redheads. I might as well start next.
All right, go.
Number one by a fucking, I don't even know what the longest unit of length is, by a light year, is Haru Okumura.
Is who?
I love
Haru. Okay.
Haru Okumura.
Really? Okay.
Hey, don't fucking interrupt. Okay, go ahead.
So, first of all, I have a thing for fluffy red hair. That's just been a thing since like middle school. That's never gone away.
Like Jax.
You know what? You could just not go into my personal life right now.
Keep going, Calvin. Keep going, Calvin.
Anyway, and then I found out she wields an axe and a grenade launcher, which tells me that she's actually badass. Compared to the fucking revolver and brass knuckles, that's kind of boring.
Oh, you motherfucker! Okay. Sorry.
I'll let you know. Makoto is on my top 3. She has this like I don't know if feminine is like a feminine air, but she still has these kind of like strong, brash kind of nature that she doesn't even realize she has.
You're talking about like
I am
she's
scared.
so real.
That's what characters are supposed to be. They're supposed to seem like they're real. That's called a well-written character. On top of that, she's the only one of the female characters who actually liked you before, or like actually wanted to do things with you before she found out you were a fantasy.
Like anal?
No, well, so she specifically says in the part where you romance her that the only reason she started joining was because she wanted to hang out with you.
Wait, who is this? Haru?
That's a great quality.
Who is this?
Haru
Okumura. Most people don't know this because most people didn't do a confidant.
Well, because she comes in at the last part. So it's like you're already involved with someone else at that point.
That doesn't stop a veteran player. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Listen.
Bro, that didn't stop me getting Kasumi, bro. That didn't stop me getting Kasumi.
Your name is Gentleman Snark. Shouldn't you participate in gentleman behavior? Anyways, Calvin, go ahead.
The next two characters. I don't know who's on top of who, but I know these are like the runners up. Makoto, obviously, as I talked about. I don't know why, but the studio skill thing kind of fits with me. Also, she rides a bike.
You like that tsundere. You like that.
I'm not
like I like you or anything.
I'm not a huge fan of tsundere. I just more like I like women who actually can think for themselves. You know?
Facts.
You anti-feminist fuck.
Facts. Say it again for the people in the back.
I like women who can think for themselves. And then the only one after that, I honestly only like one for, again, the short fluffy hair, and two for the meme, Kawakami. Kawakami's number 3.
Okay.
But I'm not really into the whole student-teacher thing. She's more just like, I can kind of feel how she acts, the idea of like feeling trapped.
My favorite part is the option of like, but I'm a teacher, you're my student, and then that's the best part. I was like, yes, yes.
I mean, I'm surprised they brought that back because we only saw that from Persona 3, and they brought that. They skipped over that in 4, which your homeroom teacher was kind of a dick. So I don't.
Oh yeah, no, he was
surprised.
a dude. You should be able to romance the dude in Golden. That was
well, he died though. He dies.
Yeah, he dies, but still, you can save him.
Anyway,
Pete.
yeah, that's my top 3.
All right, Peter.
So I'm gonna. This is no particular order. I'll just do my top 3, which is, Kasumi. Okay. Because I learned after I finished Persona 5, I was like, I'm going to watch some anime. And I started watching Steins Gate. And the redhead from that character triggered PTSD in me, where I remembered way back when I first watched Steins Gate. I was like, wait, I like redheads. I've always liked redheads. Like something triggered inside me where I was like, this is why I like Kasumi. And then I started watching more anime, and I was like, why is it that my favorite character is always the redheaded girl? What the fuck is wrong with me?
You bitch.
So yeah, there's Kasumi. I really love Hifumi. I love her character. I love her story. I love everything.
Which one is that?
She's the shogi. She's the shogi player. And on top of that, she's the most useful confidant in the entire game. Like besides the Sun Arcana or Ryuji because of the insta kill. Like she has like they are just so necessary, and the way like her pre-production story goes, where she was originally going to be part of the team, makes sense. Like everything about her makes sense. Yeah, she was originally going to be the last Phantom Thief, but because they were like with the problem with Haru, they were like, we're already stretching ourselves way too thin with getting all these characters in the game, and to add another character like Hifumi, which is very similar to Makoto, and to like she's another like support character, quote unquote, where she like she knows strategy, she knows how to like fight in combat because of the shogi background she has. They were like, nah, we already have too many. There's Futaba, Makoto, and technically Morgana. So like we don't need a fourth character like that. We're good. Yeah. So they just made her a side character, and
that's kind of unfortunate.
I would have. And the problem is like she was one of the first characters they made before like Makoto and all that. So like it just blows my mind they were like, forget Hifumi, but whatever. I really like her. She's a really cool character. And then
can I say one snarky statement?
Yeah.
You may.
Fumi got cut as a Phantom Thief, and yet she gets more screen time than Haru Okuma.
He's not lying! He's not lying!
Yo, Atlas really
those are
Haru.
Facts! Those are facts!
He is not lying!
And
you
and
could
for
hear
my
the,
third,
you could hear
and
the
for
hurt
my
in
third,
Gentleman Snark's voice.
And for like the third one, I'm gonna put it as a tie because these two characters are really my favorite once again for their story and shit. Is Makoto and Futaba. They both are just such cool members of the Phantom Thieves. I know you don't like Futaba. Shut your mouth.
Awesome. Great choice. 10 out of 10. Worst.
Though I will say Futaba for me is more of a sister kind of character. I love her in like that kind of sense.
Much like
Futaba,
Peter also likes Futa, so you know the comparison.
Wow, shots fired.
And then Makoto, because like I said with Hifumi, they're very similar characters. So like, of course I'm going to be drawn to Makoto. I also like the short hair vibe with Makoto. I love short hair.
Because Futaba has that too, yeah.
Futaba does not have short hair. She has long hair.
Futaba, you like them both, so it doesn't matter.
So yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Shit. Sorry. Gentleman Snark, go ahead.
Okay, so Peter, I don't really like you so much because we're too similar in taste, man.
We have two similar tastes.
Because like you took my first two. Like hands down, like you took my first two. Because all right, I'll be different, and I'll start off with Hifumi instead because I like her story. I personally like strategy games and stuff like that, so I kind of like the aspect of meeting someone that in real life that's willing to like give you like pointers on the type of stuff like that. I kind of like that. She is a woman of class. She's like, I forgot the exact term for it. I think Yamato no Dashi or something like that, where it's like, it looks like a traditional Japanese woman. She got the nice long hair. She's very attractive. She's very what's the word? She's very subtle. she's very subtle about things. And I do also find the fact that when you play shogi with her and she's constantly narrating, I find that to be kind of adorable. So yeah, I like her for that aspect. Kasumi, let's just be real. Kasumi is that type of person that you'd want to protect, like at all costs.
True.
And when you find out her backstory, that just gets ramped up to 100.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my gosh.
Best teacher, 10 out of 10.
Yeah. So those are my two. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that because we already heard it.
Yeah.
So the last one though. Come on, Akechi. Come on, man.
Yeah, Akechi. Yes,
Akechi,
you're
man.
right, bro. You're right. We have too similar of a taste, man. We gotta we gotta stop. We gotta stop. Oh man.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Akechi, he's a good rival or whatnot. Like he's the type of, to be honest with you, he's not a person that if I were to meet in real life, I wouldn't really fuck with him like that. But at the same damn time, there's like this underlying level of respect where he's just all like, I don't fucks with you. You don't fucks with you either, buddy. Like, he's still willing to compete with you.
I think Persona 5's mission statement, like they were like, oh, look at all these waifus, but secretly deep down inside, they want to make everyone gay because all the guy characters are just so fucking awesome.
So,
yeah, so like
my list.
What was that?
I'd like to remove Kawakami as a meme and put Hifumi as an actual option because I just realized that of all the characters in Persona, Hifumi is the one I'm most likely to be able to play Magic the Gathering with. And that's a huge boon for me. So Hifumi's now number 3.
You know, you're kind of convincing me on Kufumi, actually.
Yeah.
Hifumi?
Like, I really bumped into her, but, yeah. Oh, shit.
I mean, you meet her in a church, like, what's like it's meant to be.
Like, seriously, I just... what a perfect character, man. Like, she was so well done, damn it.
Her backstory is pretty awesome, too. Like, she's famous for shogi, but then, like, you hear that her mom's probably rigging matches. They should have made her a Phantom Thief, I swear. They should have done it. They missed opportunity.
They should have...
Missed opportunity.
They had a great chance to do it in Royals, but I guess they fucked that up.
They put fucking Kasumi in, damn it. I love Kasumi, but goddamn, Hifumi is awesome.
Let's go over the milk toast waifu on.
Oh yeah? Oh, I thought you were gonna say, oh yeah, okay.
No,
okay,
Oya is trash. Oya is trash.
Oya?
Who's Oya?
Hold on.
Oh, the drunk? The drunk. You're talking about the drunk, right?
Okay, real quick. Let's go with one at a time.
Okay.
One at a time.
Sorry.
Let's go with An. Let's go with An first, because I feel like we all don't hate An.
No, I don't hate An. It's just like, it's like the archetype of kind of like, oh,
like I said to you,
the
JJ.
girl in the group. What?
Like I said to you, JJ, she is
milk toast.
She's not milk toast. She's person's first
version of Rise. That's what I put her as.
She's a person's first JRPG waifu. She's like, she's very vanilla. Like there's nothing wrong with her character, her story, or anything. Like her background story, nothing. There's nothing wrong with it. But she's basic. You could see it in any RPG.
Yeah.
Like there's no real depth to it. It's just like I want to improve my.
With the underdog.
I want to improve my heart. Yeah, I want to improve my heart and be better. That's it. Like, that's it about her. and nothing's wrong with that. And nothing's wrong with that. But like, that's it. That's all she has for her. And I love An. She's great. But like, surface level, bro. That's all you got. Yeah. There's no depth to it. There's like nothing like Futaba or Makoto. Like there's nothing in there.
There's the fortune teller. I mean,
me personally, with An though, just going back on. Me personally with An is that I agree she is basic because no biggie here, but in Persona 4 and Persona 3, like some of my favorite waifus are those of the Lovers Arcana. So that's like Yukari and Rise. This was the first Persona game out of 3 to 5 where the Lovers Arcana just didn't do it for me. Like An, like the potential was there, but it's just. To me, she's just a lesser version of, like, if you compare her to Rise, she just falls flat Like anything that Rize just excels at, she just falls flat because of like just barely. And I'm like, that's not good enough. You could do better.
Yeah.
That's just my take.
Did anyone get involved with the fortune teller chick? I mean, I knew she was an option, but I just kind of skimmed over.
I was not really a fan on how they portrayed the voice in the English version, because that was... I get what they were going for, but come on, you're in Japan. That's kind of like... You have a southern accent? Come on now.
Howdy, neighbor. I'm from Tokyo.
I mean, that's pretty much what it was.
Y'all want some sushi?
I was like, what is... I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why it kind of took me out of it. Like, her story
I like
is
me some
fine,
ramen.
But her social link didn't make much sense because... Alright, the first... Like, one of the ones where you literally go into mementos to, like, change somebody's life, that makes sense. But all the other ones where you just randomly change the future because you just gave them a different outlook, it felt random to me. It wasn't convincing to me. It just wasn't.
Right.
You just randomly just said like, oh, just keep believing in yourself and you'll find a way. And then she's like, wait, you changed the future with just a couple words? I'm like, that's not exactly how that works, but all right.
Yeah. Besides Futaba, the other worst fucking waifu is the drunk lady, the journalist.
Oh yeah.
Fucking,
oh yeah. She's...
Oh yeah, it's trash.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who will stand for oh yeah right now?
5 people in the world.
No.
5 people who've played Persona out of the millions.
I mean, I'm actually surprised that the guy that mostly has older women on his list doesn't like her.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen, because
at least the other characters he likes.
My meals, okay? She pays.
That's
She's
what I'm
like,
saying,
I'm the adult. I will pay for the meal, and I appreciate that. Because as you know, Gentleman Snark, I have to do most of the payment in my personal relationships. Therefore, I would like for a change for someone to pay for me and make me feel like a princess.
Wait, even though for like 8 out of the 10 calls for Kawakami, you have to pay for her to come to your house.
Listen, that is the only time. That is the only time I will simp. It's the least you could do for me.
It's the least you could do.
Yeah, you are simping for Kawakami, aren't you?
I mean, I'm forced
Somebody
to.
Notice.
I'm forced to in game, and plus, she's got the maid outfit.
Real
man.
quick,
Come on.
you're not forced to.
Doctor, though. With the doctor, aren't you also paying her for treatment too with the doctor? So technically, you're simping for both.
No, you're not. You're not paying for the treatment. You're
Paying for
just
medicine.
going. That's for free.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
and you
shit.
get discounted, you know, like life potions, which is like fucking.
Yeah, she just used you as a guinea pig.
Whenever am I fucking
also shows another side to you, by the way.
Okay, listen, you know me, and I'm not usually the one to do this, but like, goddamn, she looked good in that outfit though, in that doctor outfit though. So you know what? She could perform any fucking experiments on me, and from the hentai I've seen, they're usually done to a good for good. So. Therefore,
yeah, this podcast is filled with degenerates.
It's fine. It's fine.
Wait, what? I'm not a degenerate. I just like virtual women. What?
Listen, from the guy who went to the lolicon, okay? So shut your fucking mouth.
No, Oya is terrible. Like, regardless of her shitty personality, where
she's
it's
forgettable.
supposed to be, supposed to be endearing.
Oh,
Oya is the photographer.
Okay, yeah.
It's endearing that she's an alcoholic. Okay, whatever. Shut the fuck up, Persona. You also want me to like.
That was endearing. What the fuck?
Like the fact that you gotta like the fact that you gotta like deal with it throughout your entire fucking social rank with her is like bullshit. Like fuck that. Like, and then on top of that,
what was that?
Did you get over her alcoholism by the end of the
No,
social
I don't
link?
think so.
Who the fuck knows?
For the you
who
have to,
the fuck?
You have
knows?
to ask the 5 people who actually pursued her.
I mean, she's the devil arcana for a reason, so.
Yeah.
And then the fact that like her like abilities you get with her are utterly useless. Like, ooh, help you with negotiations. If I wanted help with negotiations, I'd go to the Sun Arcana. He's way better in every way. Like, I don't need you. I don't need you. She's
They should have
definitely
brought back
that.
They should have brought back that dude from Persona 3 and 4, the guy that sells you stuff over the TV. They should have brought him back for Devil's
They
Arcade,
did.
honestly. Oh, they did.
Oh, as
Is
the
that
Devil's
so?
Arcade?
Oh, yeah, as
He
the
is in the
Devil's
game.
Arcade.
He is in the game.
Oh, but they didn't bring it back as a social link. That's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, he's in the game though. You gotta buy a computer.
In order to play a video game, you must buy a computer. I think, is that all the waifus? I think so.
No, there's
no.
I mean, we barely touched Futaba.
Because she's trash, so we don't even need to talk about it.
Shut the fuck up.
She's a fucking shut-in. Like,
bro,
okay, I'll grant her this.
Can I say? To play
games. Can I say? There's one scene that I saw in a YouTube clip where like it's snowing out and she's like being all cute. It should be like, oh, can I scooch over a little closer? And she puts her head on her shoulder. That's fine and good. The teacher though lets me put my head on her lap. That's an automatic win. How can you even fucking
says the simp.
Say any? I'm not a fucking simp, and you know it, you little bitch.
Listen,
5,000 Yeti is not that bad. It's fine. It's fine, and she's in a maid outfit, which is even better. If you're into that thing.
You forgot the real wife. We forgot the real waifu, guys. Sai and
Igor. Oh, sorry.
Oh, actually, so funny thing about Sai, I think in the Persona 5 anime, which I realize no one likes, the Persona 5 anime, I think Sai is the canon romance choice, which is funny because you cannot.
Wait, I'm sorry.
No. I feel like you're wrong about that. I feel like you're wrong about that. I'm sorry.
No.
I know that you could.
So what happens in the anime is for Valentine's Day, they actually made a Valentine's Day scene for every single romanceable character in the game. And it starts off with a slide that says, like, in the case of Antakamaki, in the case of Haru Okuma, in the case of whoever.
Yo, I hate
And then
anime.
the last one for Valentine's Day, this one doesn't show the in the case of Sainijima. It just goes to Sainijima.
Yo, I feel like you're reading too much into that.
Yeah, no. Like, don't get me wrong. She got it going on. She should have been a romance option, but no.
So do you want to know why it
100%.
isn't a romance option? Because you automatically go through a confidant.
I think the reason why they didn't want you to romance her in the game is because you can date
Makoto.
her sister, and that would be kind of. I mean,
heck, she could join in too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind.
No. Let's think about something.
Okay.
In this game,
I'm not really good at that, but okay.
You can date your nurse.
Clearly.
Fuck you.
You can date your parole officer's adopted daughter. Why can't you date your sisters?
I mean, that's a very good point.
I'm just
Atlas,
saying.
hit us up. Like, what the fuck's up
Let
with
us
that?
date
What's
Sai.
good? The only thing I like
Parole
about
officer's daughter.
Because they're not trying to make school days, I guess.
toward the
Oh my
end,
god,
toward the end, it's almost like that. If you date every girl, they just beat the shit out of you. You know, so it's kind of like school days without the murder.
What spoilers?
For fucking school days, the worst anime of all time.
Actually, first off, if it's a spoiler, then yeah, I'm gonna spoil it all. They all die. Don't watch.
Am I just standing in this corner missing every reference being made right now?
Dude, School Days is trash. Don't watch it.
It's really
so
bad.
Yeah,
stupid.
really don't.
The only good thing about School Days is the ending. Like that's it.
Because it comes out of nowhere. It comes out of nowhere.
It turns into like when they cry in like a second. It was like, whoa, okay, wow.
If you think that's bad, play the visual novel. The ending's there. Sheesh.
Yeah, I remember you.
One
showed
of
me
them
a couple.
literally pushes the other in a train.
Yeah, it just turns from like romance shit to just like horror in like a millisecond. But fucking
the manga was even more terrifying.
the only good thing. Wait, what the? Oh yeah, the only good thing about the Persona 5 anime is there's one 20-second scene where it's like a little haunted house or whatever, and there's this chick
Oh my
wearing a
god.
mask, and then Joker comes up behind her, takes off her masks, from behind. It says, "Show me your true form," and then Ryuji just like smacks the shit out of him. Like, that's not cool, man. And I was like,
don't do that. Don't do that.
All right.
I mean, I didn't really watch the anime. I tried to watch that one like episode where they fight Akechi.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it because the game clearly made it clear that they needed to team up together to take down Akechi, because Akechi's been using the power for way longer than they have, so he has a higher advantage. He has more skill in it, so it makes sense that in the game you all need to team up to fight him.
Mm-hmm.
In this, they made it seem like Joker had control of the fight the entire time, and I'm like, that's BS. They did not have control. They all had to team up, and even when they won, they were exhausted.
Yep.
I will say there are some good scenes. Like, I feel like I saw this online. Like, someone said like the English dub has made the anime a lot more bearable to watch.
Yeah.
And plus, they also like went back and touched up a lot of scenes, due to the backlash of the initial release of it, which is really cool. Like, they fixed up the shots for like their all-out attacks and stuff, and some of the really
because
shitty
when it first released, that shit was like recorded in like 420p. It was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it didn't look good.
480, sorry. Jesus.
And they can't blame COVID for that.
No.
But there was, so you know the scene where Morgana comes back after leaving the group, when you after you get Haru and everything and all that.
That whole palace,
and like
that
him
whole
and Ryuji. Ryuji.
That's the worst palace in the whole game.
God
hands
damn.
down.
It's a shitty palace.
The fucking air tunnels, man. I was like pulling my hair out.
Forget that garbage. Forget that garbage
it.
for a second. There's a scene where Ryuji and Morgana make up. And like,
which wasn't in the main game.
Oh yeah,
it is some tsundere. It is some tsundere shit right there.
It is.
I genuinely like started like tearing up a little bit, because I was like, how did they do this better than the game?
First of all, that whole argument between Ryuji and Morgana came out of nowhere in the game.
Left fucking field. And then you can't even. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on. It doesn't come out of left field. The problem is that they didn't foreshadow it in a way that made it seem legitimate. Because
so coming out of left field?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
What happened was, the entire time as new members of the Phantom Thieves come in, they slowly replace what Morgana's supposed to do. Morgana's supposed to be the strategist. Well, here comes Makoto.
Yeah.
Futaba's supposed to be the navigator. Here comes Morgana's supposed to be the navigator. Here comes Futaba. All these new members come in and make Morgana essentially.
They didn't make that clear, however. Like, there was never like a point in progression. Like, every single time someone took Morgana's place, he should have had like some piece of thing.
What would have made it better, in my opinion, is if in the game you can't use Morgana for some reason, or they gave you an incentive to not use Morgana. If they did something like that, then maybe.
Yeah.
What happened in the game was, there were scenes where he was sitting and he's like, man, I'm really useless right now. Like when Futaba was like trying to crack the stuff, it was like going through Sai's laptop info, and the rest of the gang's in Hawaii, and Morgana's sitting in there like, so is there anything I can do? And Futaba's like, shut the fuck up.
They do.
And then she proceeds to beat the shit out of Morgana off screen.
They do actually foreshadow it. The problem really is that when they go to actually have Morgana crack and say, fuck this, I'm out, it feels like it comes out of nowhere because it's a regular scene up until then.
I don't know.
You don't have
Morgana, because the banter between Ryuji and Morgana has always been, fuck you, Morgana, you suck. And Ryuji's like, and Morgana's like, no, fuck you, Ryuji, you suck. But because of like that, with what Calvin said, like that pent up like feeling of like, I don't know who I am. I have no other feelings.
You're underplaying it. Ryuji just goes, hey, what the?
Shut
up, just like
bro.
fucking constantly.
Are you for real?
Are you for real?
Give you guys an idea.
Wait, what the?
That's going in the show notes. That's going in the show notes.
Yeah, no, that's popping up.
You son of a bitch! You
yeah, an audio listener really gonna like this.
That's so accurate, though.
It's so accurate. Morgana's always like, "You're so fucking stupid," and then Ryuji's like, "Hey, fuck you," and then he's like, "Why the fuck did you have to say it like that, though?"
Yo, yeah, dude. Like Ryuji does go a little hard on Morgana sometimes in the game. Like he goes a little off.
I think he's like hard.
I mean, to be fair though, Morgana was kind of like, because going back to the whole thing where like Morgana felt like he was useless. He started bitching about other things that weren't as important, like him constantly being human. Like he was kind of turning into Teddy a little bit towards that part. He was turning into Teddy. So
but
I can understand why Ryuji was like that.
At least when Teddy got shit on, he didn't fucking run away from the team and say, "Fuck
I feel like Teddy got it worse because they constantly just like at the beginning they just like, I wonder if we can hurt this guy. So they just push, or you could choose to kick, punch, or push the motherfucker. Like Teddy's just constantly getting fucking abused, and he's just like, "Okay, guys, can you stop, please?" And they're like, "No, fuck you, Teddy, you fucking deformed."
I mean, it's because Teddy is the great boy of the group.
No, Teddy is a pervert, bro. Teddy is a pervert pedophile, bro.
He's on a list. That's why he's gonna hide in the TVs, because he's on the list.
He's on a fucking list.
I just want to. I guess this is technically spoilers for Persona 4 Golden. Do we care?
No.
I'm already putting in the description.
Like, if you know that one scene where you're skiing and you get trapped in a cabin with a love interest.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Literally every time Teddy walks in and calls you out, he's like, "No hanky panky can happen unless I am watching."
Yeah, like, what the fuck, Teddy?
And then you proceed to stare at his soulless eyes that he's like, "Do it, take off your clothes."
He literally says, "You guys can't do any weird stuff unless it's
You know how you fix that problem?
Vision, like?
You know how you fix that problem? You just put a blanket over the TV.
Yeah.
I fucking hate. I love Teddy, but I hate him at the same time. I love him, and I love Yuko. What is her name? Yukiko. Where she's just like, especially in Persona Q, where the animation models are very like basic. Whenever Yukiko like says like, maybe we should burn you up, it's just like her just sitting, her just like blankly smiling at Teddy, and Teddy's like, "That's hurtful," and I'm like, "That's fucked up."
And then she just whispers in the ear like, "Once the camera pans over to the left, I'm fucking dead."
Yeah,
I'm gonna make this the Blair Witch Trials. Fuck you.
We roast Teddy all this like so much, but his voice actor Sam Riegel really is a fucking treasure to have that role.
Oh,
because he did
for sure.
such a good job at playing an annoying little bastard.
Yeah.
That you just want to strangle, but you can't get your hand around the neck.
Speaking of good voice actors, can we just appreciate? I know that I've been jerking off Akechi this entire time, but can we just appreciate how well of a voice acting change the voice actor for Akechi did when he turned bad, when he was like full on bad, and
it was like Yagami. I was like, "Word, this is fresh."
And
he goes from polite to just like he's blunt as fuck with his speech.
Might as well it's like just be the ending of Death Note.
It's so jarring. Like rewatching that scene, like I genuinely am like, fuck. Like it genuinely feels like a friend who's like turned.
Yeah. Like
he's gone down a bad path, and like you feel so bad you want to help him, and I'm like, how did you do this to me, video game? Why? Why are you making me this emotional for a fake thing?
I don't know why this popped into my head. This is completely, this is irrelevant, completely out topic. I mean, it's about Persona, but... So, I recently watched... I didn't even watch the whole thing. I watched this video called Persona 3 Massive Disappointment, right? And, like...
I've been seeing that real quick.
The dude starts off his review... And you could already see the dislike to like ratio. I'm like, oh boy, what's this guy saying? He starts off, well, y'all know that. I don't like anime and shit. I'm like, then why the fuck are you playing Persona 3? What the fuck? Like, he's like, yeah, I don't like the stereotypes of anime and shit. I'm like, Porqué,
in wrong company.
if you see that the game looks like shit from anime, don't fucking pick it up. He's like, yo, everything is trash in this fucking game. It's like hard as shit. I'm like, yeah, because it's a fucking Tensei game, you fuck. Like,
So
I didn't even finish the video. I was like, you're just wrong. Like, I'm sorry. Fuck you.
I want to take this time, since we're on the topic of both Persona 3 and voice actors. I want to. This is the thing I was talking about before the show that I want to ask you guys. Mitsuru from Persona 3. I'm sure Peter knows Mitsuru very well based on his taste in waifus.
Because she's got the red hair.
Red hair and she's.
I kid you not. Real quick, help! I kid you not. I only remember that name because when I was playing Persona Q, I'm like, oh, I like her because she's got red hair. So I've been seeing her on my team.
Peter, I have a question for you. And this is when things are gonna get really fucking weird.
Oh no.
Do you want Mitsuru to step on you?
I want her to step on me.
Why no Jack's answer?
Fuck off, you little cunt. It's only for fucking the doctor lady. That's it. Only her.
Do I want her to? I mean, I don't really. That's the thing. Like,
okay,
I'm
right.
playing. Playing Persona Q.
Let me rephrase for Calvin. Do you want her to spit on you?
No. Specifically, no. This is actually very specific. You need. It's a stepping thing. So let me.
I would imagine so.
Explain. Here's the weird thing. Mitsuru is voiced by is voiced by a woman named Tara Platt. And for some reason, if you look at Tara Platt's like IMDb or behind the voice actors, whatever the fuck, if you look at Tara Platt's past roles, in almost everything she voices, from Naruto where she was Tamari, in League of Legends she's Katarina, in Neptunia she's the green one that's really busty. I'm trying to think of she was Edelgard in Fire Emblem Three Houses. She was both Mitsuru and Elizabeth in Persona 3.
So Calvin's done some research.
If you look at all these characters, no. Here's the thing: if you look at all these characters and you look at their fandoms, she almost exclusively voices the character that game's fandom wants to get stepped on by.
Yeah, I think I heard that somewhere.
I might have explained this to you before, Jack.
This is news to me.
Tara Platt, for some reason, gets typecast as the character who people want to get stepped on by. And I don't know if you realize this or not.
I think I saw the
fucking casting director. I want you to play this character because I know people are gonna want them to be stepped on by this character.
The casting director just goes, so why should I? What are you doing? You're hired. You're hired.
I don't want to deal with this.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Right, so why don't we do conclusions since we got 3 more minutes left?
Whoops.
I'll go first. No, yeah, Persona 5 is the best JRPG on the PlayStation. Hesitate to say of all time or anything like that, but it's definitely one of my favorites. When eventually I do come around to playing Royal, I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of it. But I just finished it, so I can't go through that again. It's just
keep in mind he's playing Persona 4.
I'm not right now. I kind of was off it. I'm too busy right now. I'm playing. What am I playing? I'm playing Trails in the Sky, and then I'm playing Chrono Cross, which is a sequel to Chrono Trigger, which is actually pretty good. It gets a lot of flack, but yeah, the combat's great, the storyline's great. Just be warned, it's fucking long as shit. Which, I mean, this is a spoilers video shoot, so you probably already knew that. But yeah, no, it's a really good game, great characters, great waifus, besides Futaba, and yeah. So
play Royal when you can. If you haven't picked it up yet, definitely just pick up Royal. You don't really need to pick up Persona 5.
Yeah.
You really don't.
And as always, with almost all Persona games, you do not have to play the past iterations.
No.
You don't need to play Persona 4 to play Persona 5. I don't think any of us here played Persona 4 before Persona 5, correct?
Nope.
Pretty much.
I played it a little during, but that's about it.
If you haven't picked it up yet, fucking pick it up. Do yourself a favor. Especially while, at least us here in the States, you're still going to be in lockdown for a good while, and you're going to want something to do. Persona is probably one of the better things.
Peter?
I really like this game. I can't stop thinking about it, that I had to play it again to give myself one last quench of thirst before I completely forget about it. Yeah, like, it's one of the reasons why I bought a PlayStation, so I highly recommend it. Personally, I mean, it's only my first JRPG, but I think it sets a really high bar for any more that I play. And I can't wait for Persona 6 or the next Shin Megami Tensei game, which is going to come on the Switch. So
yeah,
hopefully I try that out next.
And last but not least, Gentleman Snark.
So I've gone through a couple of JRPGs myself, and considering one of them is the ridiculousness known as Disgaea, I gotta say Persona 5 you could do a lot worse. But in all seriousness, it's a good game. The good aesthetic. Me personally, I've always been drawn to like mystery and Phantom Thief characters and aesthetics in terms of like fiction and stuff like that. So for me, it was like being a kid in a candy store. So honestly, pick it up, play it. Obviously, just play Royal because it is not like Golden in the like. It's not like Persona 4 Golden. Like there's actually substance in the extra stuff, in my opinion. So pick it up, play it. Kasumi, best girl. Akechi, best boy. Have fun.
Wait, we never got to talk about the boys in the game. Damn it! We only got to talk about Akechi.
I was just gonna make a whole video. I'm gonna dedicate a whole video to the boys.
Oh my god, I'd love to just talk about Ryuji and Akechi.
But yeah, you want to know why I left so much room for the waifu talk? It literally carried us from minute 45 to now.
So half the podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's gonna be it for this podcast. Hope to see you guys soon. Just want to plug in a couple things. My Should You Play RPGs video should be up probably either before or after this, because I'm gonna upload this guy on Tuesday. So make sure to catch that and subscribe, like, comment, share, all that fun and jazz. Peter, plug your shit in.
I don't have anything except for my Twitter, so just, I guess, follow me at AH_Pietro. I just retweet people, so you might just mute me anyways.
Calvin, you got anything?
I don't really have things that are game related to talk about, but if you want to follow me on Instagram at Calvin Savoia, CalvinSavoia. I'm going to be posting stuff about my motorcycle if anyone here is really interested in that. I realize the overlap of motorcycle riders and gamers is not that large, but hey, if there's one, that might be it.
All right, well, that rounds up everyone.
Really? Everyone?
Really? I'm sorry. Whoops. Slipped
really?
my mind.
Rude?
Gentleman Stark, do you have a YouTube channel?
I do, but that's not. We're not really doing much with that. Like, you could subscribe to us on YouTube, like Nerd Ent. Just Nerd Ent. But we also got a Twitch. That's where most of our magic happens. So please follow us at twitch.tv/Nerd Ent. We play a lot of games there, and I recently got a capture card. So yeah, you get to see more gameplay on other types of systems and stuff like that. So hey, give us a follow. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about doing like a Let's Play channel or something like that.
I might turn the YouTube into that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Once I do one for me, I'll plug it.
All right, word. All right, so that's it for the podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Say bye.